Good morning, world. Well, it's time to continue with the saga of Solomon's fibre on the little gem. I'm going to complete this bobbin because I've got a whole lot of stuff to add to that. I've got a nice design in mind. So we'll see how it goes and what it looks like when it all comes together. I didn't write down a script or anything. I've just got it sort of jogged in my mind. Let's see how it goes. Oh yes, and for those who haven't been here before, I'm Ricky Smits. I'm the owner of Floraful Alpacas. I love fibre in any kind. I love spinning. I could spin all day if life was like that, but unfortunately we don't live in those days now. So I will take you along the ride, show you what I've got in mind. I've got a beautiful variety of natural alpaca colors here that I'm going to add to Solomon's fibre. Now, please bear with me. I'm not a professional videographer, so I'm trying my best. Today I want to show you a little bit more of what the little gem looks like and how she spins, because this is a little beauty. And on the next video, I'm going to take you on the trips that you can do if you've got a little portable spinner like this. It is absolutely magic. So let's hope I'm not going to make you seasick or anything, because I'm going to change the angles now. Let's see what happens. Okay, there's my little spinning wheel. I'm going to see if I can twist it so you can see what my feeders do. Hopefully you can see enough. We'll try. Anyway, let me move a little bit closer. Yeah, my feet are, I don't have the nicest feet, but I suppose I'm like typical any other person in the world. I'm not a model, I'm just who I am. Right, off we go. I've got a tiny little bit of fluff left of this one bat that I started spinning with you in the previous video. And I'm going to finish off. And then we're going to start preparing a nice bit of fibre on the hackle, because I want to spin a rather thick, sort of thick and thin yarn that I will then ply back with this little guy. Now I've enjoyed this one. It's a very thin sort of sock yarn, but as I say, I'm going to ply it back onto a thick and thin. I've got the idea of what I've got in mind, what it's going to look like. We will see when it's finished. I'm not going to yak too much. If something comes to mind, I'll mention it. Otherwise, let's just enjoy a bit of spinning here. And then soon I will take the little wheel apart. Maybe I'll even take it outside. Although no, I think I'm going to leave that, the unpacking and the reassembly, etc., for my traveling with my little gem video that we will do next. So I think for this one, we're going to stick put. It's just a little angle of my lounge where I've got a bit more sun today. We have had a week of absolute torrential rain. I think I'll insert a little footage of what the river looks like. It was a nightmare. Not much sun. No, we can't really complain, because this is a corner of the world where you've got all the extremes. In winter it's dry and dusty. Then you actually start praying for rain. And then in summer it's hot and dusty unless it's raining. And you start praying for rain. And then the rain comes and it stays to the point that you actually start praying for it to go away. So I honestly don't know why we can't just have a lovely sort of neutral weather. But anyway, that's life, I guess. We're not in heaven, so I have to make do with hell on earth, and it could have been much worse, so let me not complain about that. At least I've got sun today. I don't know for how long, because apparently we're going to have some more rain again soon. At least the plant's going to make use of all the water it's got with a little bit of sun shining on it. If you hear funny sounds here, I've got 3 little kittens that are demolishing each other. At least they're leaving my fibre out for the moment, but they are getting a bit rough. Probably have one jumping on my lap again just now. Hopefully not. This spins beautifully. It's just like butter, just running along. And this is just a bat. Okay, well, like when I say just a bat, it doesn't mean it is not got a lot of work that have gone into it. I've mentioned before, with the bat you obviously pick the fibre, then wash it, get it dry, pick it again, then you card it 3 times until you eventually get your bat. Now, I've done some prep on my hand combs with some of this fibre because I needed tops to use in the hackle. It's sort of a double work that was done then, but it's anyone who starts on this fibre journey is going to discover there are so many things you can do with the fibre to prepare it to get to just the right point. And every piece of equipment's got a special purpose. You're not going to need all of it all the time. But I can tell you one thing, once you've got any of those tools, you'll ask yourself afterwards, how did I cope without it? Now, my hand combs are probably my most valued tool. Okay, obviously apart from my spinning wheel, because without that, you're not going to get very far. You can still get your drop spindles and your turkey spindles and support spindles, and I will make some videos on that as well, because I really do appreciate those little tools, especially when you're traveling around and you don't have much space and whatever. But this little wheel, I think, is going to be a serious contender to stop my hand drop spindle, turkey spindle endeavors in future. Obviously, sometimes you do it just for the fun of it. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Getting back to my hand combs. With hand combs, you can also put it in a little bag with some fluff and go wherever you want to go and sit and spin, and just quickly prepare something to get on the wheel right there and then. So it's quick and easy. Now, when do you use hand combs? I had a few people asking me that already, because they think they can get away with just hand carders. Hand carders is a nightmare when you've got a fibre that's excessively long. Something like Border Leicester, or there's a lot of different ones like that. And sometimes even merino, you can get nice long staples in merino. Suri, Suri is not intended for hand carders. Even if you want to go and blend your wakaya with a bit of Suri on hand carders, you're going to have to make funny moves and eventually revert to bringing the scissors and cut your staple length in half. Your hand combs allow you to really use an excessively long staple to make your prep. Now, if you're a weaver and you want to spin a nice, seriously strong warp thread, and you can get your hands on some of those fibers that we unfortunately don't get in South Africa. There's a specific one I can think of just now, just can't get on the name right now. I will type it in here when I get to it, or even find a little picture to show you. Oh yeah, the laid black nose, or even a silver nose. I had a box with a variety of rare fibre breeds that I got samples from, 50-gram samples, which are nice big ones, except that once you wash them, half of that disappeared because it was lanolin. But anyway, I got the experience of spinning a whole lot of different types of sheep. I even included alpaca and mohair, which I luckily already had anyway. But if you want to do a box like that, you obviously want the full experience, so it really is worth it. Anyway, I got to the Valet Black Nose, and gosh, hey, that was long. I don't want to lie, I think just under 30 centimeters. So you cannot do that on a hand cordless. The combs, that was a different story. It was such a breeze to just get that lovely long piece of fibre out of that. And when you start dizzing that, it doesn't take much dizzing because it's very long. You've got this huge, extensively long top that you've got ready to spin then. And because it's a strong, sort of a very shiny fibre, you can make a beautiful warp thread for that. You can spin it as thin as you want, and it is strong. So you can go and weave whatever you want to do afterwards. But that's where your hand combs really come in. I don't think I can imagine life without them anymore. So those are for any long fibres. And then of course also if you want to do some blending, I'm going to add the details now when we get onto the hackle to do my colour blending. And everything I do on the hackle you can just do on the combs as well, except my hackle is, I think it's about a 30 centimeter long hackle. I haven't actually measured it yet, whereas your hand combs you're looking at, I think, probably about 6 centimeter width. So there's a huge difference, the amount of fibre you can get on it. And I don't know about anybody else, but I hate stopping and starting. If I do my prep, I want to try and get a nice amount of prep ready so I can just let go and do a nice lot of work all at once. With spinning, I normally prepare a whole bag full of bats or little clouds or whatever. Then I can spin away for a few days, and depending on how busy life gets, it sometimes turns out to be a few months. But the nice thing then, when I get to the actual plying, I usually have like all my bobbins formed with the same fibre. No, at some stage I had like 7 or 8 bobbins. At least I've got a few more now, which probably is also not a good thing because then I can fold all that much more. Anyway, it's nice if you can go and sit down and do a nice big job all at once instead of a little bit here and there. Bad enough that life sort of shackles us and we have to go for little bits here and there anyway. And it looks like the sun has disappeared again. I hope it's still visible. Let's see. Now let's do a little bit of an explanation here. This is how much I've got on the bobbin now, and that is, apart from this tiny little bit of fluff that's still left that I'm going to do just now. Okay, now let me show you. This was a full bat before I started spinning it. So that much becomes this much as a single. So I'm going to spin up about this much still more. Well, this one I'm going to do as thick and thin on its own as well, and I'm going to apply it with some more of this on another yarn. In fact, each of the colors that I'm going to do on the hackle now in my blend, it's 5 different alpaca colors that I've chosen for this project. Each of them I'm going to spin up a whole bat as well to ply back. So we're going to have a yarn with just one color, and then we're going to have a blend with all of these fluffies that I've got in here. This one and that one, that's Suri. That is top of the same fibre, obviously a brown and a white. So all of that's going to be blended together on the hackle, and we'll see what it will look like when it's completed. And just take note, this is natural colors of alpaca. There is no dyeing or anything involved in there, so no chemicals, nothing. This was just washed fiber. And okay, in this case they were first made into bats and then pulled into roving, but you can take the washed fiber just like that and do your top straight away. When I say top roving here, it's sort of interchangeable. You get the same look, but roving is normally when you take a bat and you actually pull it into long strips to spin straight away. The fibers are not all nicely aligned. Let me carry on spinning while I'm yakking away, don't waste time. Okay, so roving is basically a bat that is pulled into thinner strips so you can go and spin it straight away. Because a lot of people say, oh, they don't know what to do with a bat. You sit with that whole bunch of fiber in your lap and you're not too sure how to spin it. Well, there's nothing funny about that or strange or anything too weird, nothing weird or wonderful. You can take that bat and just pull off little bits and spin it just like that. Obviously, if you're going to make a woolen prep, if you want something that's going to be sleek and smooth, then you're going to need top, and that's when you go back to your hand combs. Now with hand combs, you basically align your fiber and everything goes in the same direction. It's nice and smooth. And the other thing with your hand combs as well, you're going to end up with all the fibers of the same length, because the smaller bits that may have been left behind in your fiber is going to stay behind on your combs, and that can then be used in another bat with nice blends and things. Because don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with those smaller bits. I know a lot of people want to throw them away. I always manage to find something to do with it, even if it's just to go afterwards and do a bit of felting with it. And if it's now really, really dirty and you're not going to be able to do anything spinning wise like that, and you can't use it for stuffing for a pillow or toys or anything either, well, then you can put it in a little bowl outside in the garden, and I can promise you there will be a lot of little bitties floating around, ending up in birds' nests, and it makes a beautiful mulching in your veggie garden too. So all that protein can then go back to Mother Earth, and while they're doing their little bit of breakdown dance, they actually feed the ground and give a little place for the stuff that you, or the little hochokis that you really do want in the ground. And what's more, it's going to stop your plants from drying out too quickly. Because as I say, here with us, the heat is terrible, and if your ground is not covered with something, it's going to dry out and eventually nothing will want to grow there. So we learn how to make sure we try and hold on to our moisture as long as possible, except when it's been raining like it's been doing the last while, because I'm still trying to get my house dry, not to mention the washing. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I think I should actually show you a little bit of the little gem instead of just these stationary shots. Now again, I am not really such a good photographer. I'm just using my telephone at the moment. One day I will grow up and buy myself a real camera. Now I'll make do with what I've got. I had a nice camera that I gave to my son. Actually, I must find out if he's still using it or whether he actually started using it, because then I can maybe borrow it back again. That's not a bad idea, because that was quite a nice little camera. I brought it back all the way from Belgium. So a little note to myself, need to look into that. There's a little thingy that shouldn't be in there. Okay, and it looks like I am almost at the end of this bat. Then I think what I should do is maybe show you how to take the little gem apart, because I've seen lots of videos on how to put it together when you take it out of the box, which I will still do when I take it on my traveling trip next week, but that's, as I said, that'll be another video. For now, I'm going to show you how to take it apart when you're ready to move it. Obviously you can just carry it around like that as well. It's not really heavy. Okay, what I do is let's take it out of there, and then I'll just fold it up on itself. Well, for starters, we can have another look at the size of the fibre, or the yarn anyway. There's a little piggy tail in there that shouldn't be there. So if this is plied back to itself with the same thickness, then this is a yarn you're going to get. It's, I would say, it's closer to lace weight than sock weight. Nice and thin. Anyway, if you finish spinning and you're going to leave your bobbin around for a day or what, it's always a good idea to just leave it for a day, just so that your twist can go and settle. I fold it back like that so it can't unravel, because this is now arrested, shall I say. It's going to stay like that. Just fold it onto there. Okay, now let's see what we will do when we want to prep up and go and spin on the edge of the river or wherever. You need to take off your flyer. Okay, you're gonna hold on to, well, I'm gonna have to move this a little bit. Probably easier to just move the camera on there. Don't be blonde. Okay, hold on to the wheel at the back, tight, and then you're going to just lefty-loosey, remember? Just loosen the flyer. What we're doing now, ow, yeah, you're not supposed to do that, man. Be ready to catch it before this happens. Okay, flyer off. Take off your scotch tension, then slide the bobbin off. Again, hold on to that. Yeah, hands full of Vaseline. Anyway, so bobbin off, putting it aside, and now this side, all right. We're now going to have to go down to this knob here, lefty loosey again. Just loosen it a bit. The idea with that is that you're going to, okay, I'd rather put the camera back on the tripod, and hopefully I'm not going to make you seasick or anything, because it does look a little bit angled. Right, we are going to take off the drive band next. Just easiest is to just lift it over the edges, and there you go. There's your drive band. Now there. Okay, we're gonna take off this now. Loosen that nut down there. Can you see it? Yes. And we're just gonna pull it out. Okay, so there's the head. Put it aside for now, and then we're going to turn around the little wheel. Oh, this is my chance to lift it a bit and show you what the pedals look like. I'm going to do a bit of a better video later. It's just so you can see the tools. What we're going to do now is to just take off this little band here. Is it in the picture? Let's see if I hold on to that. Just roll it off, and it's off. There you go. Now this, you can easily lose it. Don't lose it. Hold it. There are spares available, but that's in New Zealand, so it's a bit far away. So do not lose it for now. I'll get stock in time, but I'd rather you not lose it. Okay, there we go. So this little guy is safe there. I think you're not going to easily lose him. He's fine. It's a whole story to try and get to him, and it's not necessary to get to him, because in this case we're just going to fold everything back. Okay, let's see. Oh, I'm trying to play Tarzan here. How tannie with the I didn't even have my oats this morning. Okay, there's that little, you see there? You need to push that guy to the other side, put it down on the floor, and you can just, okay, now you're not going to see what I did, so I guess I'm going to have to try and show you again. When you push that in, you can actually fold over this whole head. I promise I will make a better video with this on a table and everything visible. But this is just sort of an impromptu shot to show you how I pack it away. So I'm going to put this little baby on the floor for the moment. There we go, the Majacraft Hackle. It looks quite dangerous, but it's actually not as sharp. So I still wouldn't suggest you go and smash your hands in it. It's got a shorter row of tines at the back. Unfortunately, I've already got it sort of screwed onto this little trolley, so I'm not going to take it off now, but I will show you later to see what it looks like. This is all the top that we prepared in a previous cut. So I will decide in what order I'm going to load it. Let's do a little bit of everything everywhere. Let's start with this. I'm not going to do it in any specific sequence. I'm really just going to take a bit and let's go. So you basically just lash it on. Oh, this is already top, so there's nothing funny in there. We're just going to build up a nice little bubble over there. The interesting thing to remember, when you've got a hackle, what we've done here, making this top, this is the amount of fiber that you get from one, here's my, let me take these combs and show you. From one comb full of fiber. So that's quite a bit. Now imagine you take that length and you look at the hackle, because this hackle you can do exactly what you did on this comb, except, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 5 full combs of fiber in one go. So if this is one little comb, imagine 5 times that much in one go. So it's really worth it. Okay, I'm back. I jibbered a bit. I actually added a whole lot of shortened pieces of top together, because let's face it, it's not that I'm lazy, but I do not like to do something slowly and repeatedly. If I can do it faster, there's lots of things I need to do. So I'm doing like 10 bits of top in one go. Every guy for himself, obviously. It's just that this way I can fill up my little bubble faster. Just one thing to keep in mind, you're not going to put it in the middle there, you're going to go on the edges. Otherwise you're going to pull like hell to try and get it off there, and you're going to end up with a lot of waste, which is really not worth it. And honestly, we don't want to waste our precious fibers. So I'm just doing it a little bit faster because I'm doing a few pieces of the top together. Oh, I hear thunder coming closer again. Anyway, I will be back. I'm not going to put you through all of this. You've got a gist of it. I'm going to do exactly the same with the other 4 colors as well. In fact, I think I'm going to just do 3 colors like this at the bottom, because 2 of those colors are Suri, and I don't think I'm going to make full sort of bobbles of that. I will leave a little gap in between, but you'll see what I mean. I'll come and show you when I get to that point. I've got the picture in my mind and I'm sure it's going to work. I'll show you when I get to that point. Otherwise I keep on making drawings in the air, and I think I'm going to do this on camera just to give a few points here. Firstly, remember this top that we're working with here is top that we made ourselves. It's not top that you get from a factory that's machine prepped, or should I say mold prepped fiber that's basically got the life taken out of it. This is just aligned the way that we were doing it. Okay, let's try again because I had some interruptions there. This was just aligned, and all the little bits and things we don't want taken out. I am now making this a little bit shorter, as you can see, just because I want to lash it on a whole lot in one go instead of sitting here forever. So we are going to put this in the middle here. So far this is all natural alpaca. This one here is classified as a medium fawn. That is light fawn, and this obviously is sort of a white creamy color. You're not going to have sort of bright clear white on an alpaca. That kind of white is something that's bleached in a factory. So the white, natural white alpaca fiber is normally always sort of a milky white color, just for interest's sake. If you want bleached white alpaca, you're going to have to bleach it yourself, and somehow I don't think that's an interesting idea. Why want natural fibers and go and bleach it, the life out of it then? And just worth noting that any of these fibers you can go and dye over as well. For instance, this would look lovely with a lilac-y color or blue or anything. It's just going to give an extra depth. Okay, now you can see what I was going to get to. There's a little gap in between. I'm going to add just a tiny little bit of the Suri, but I think I'm going to do the Suri a layer from one side to the other, just to make sure it gets lines. At this point, everybody does what they want. This is now your design or whatever, and I'm just doing what I feel like doing now. It's the idea that counts. When I'm finished here and I've taken it off, you'll see what I mean with that, and that's then exactly what everybody can go and do for themselves. The purpose of the hackle is twofold, I would say. Firstly, to make preps like this, because you can blend lovely different colors of yarn, well, fibers to make your yarn, or you can take a quantity of one color. First you're going to comb it on your combs, and when you get to that final point that you would normally have taken it off to make your top, you can take that and basically just lash it straight onto your hackle until it's filled up. So we've seen there you can easily do 5 combs full of fiber on here, and when you've got all of that fiber, then you diz it off in one go, and you can have a nice huge ball of fiber ready to go and spin. So that is the other way that you'll use your hackle. Again, okay, let me just catch up a bit. I put some brown Suri in between, as you can see there, and I did the same under here as well. And now to make sure that there's a break in the layer, I'm putting a little bit of the white over there. Yeah, I've got, as you can hear in the background, I've got an assistant. I'm trying my best. She wants help with something now, so I'm finished with this one. make it smaller pieces, and then I can lash it on like that. Looks like a bit of a sort of a jacket collar that we're preparing here. I think it looks quite interesting. Let's see what will happen. I wonder if I shouldn't add a layer of white silk somewhere as well. Okay, let's continue. I have changed my mind. I'm going to add a tiny little bit of sparkle. I was going to just make this totally natural, and then I thought, what the heck, I just want to do a bit of a playing around as well. So I'm not one for lots of this stuff, but I do like it peeping out every now and then, so I'm going to just drop in the odd bit here and there. Let's see. Now remember, so far everything is alpaca, natural alpaca, except for that tiny little bit of Angelina. And what I will bring in as well is some tassel silk. Now alpaca and silk can never go wrong. Now remember, this is already alpaca and Suri, well, papaya, alpaca and Suri. Now we're going to add a bit of silk too. I'm going to leave the silk sort of in little areas. I'm not going to let it run right through because I do want some contrast. Because I want contrast, I'm going to add the silk here, and I'm just going to hold it down at the back so that it doesn't just run right through. Just slash it on a little bit, pull it down with my fingers, and just give it a slight pull. That's enough for there. Tiny little bit on this end. You don't want to overdo it, but at least we want to make sure you can see it there. So let's see. And right in the end there too. That's maybe a little bit too much on that end, so let's balance it out on this end too. Gotta make sure it's enough. I want to make sure it's going through. Yep, that'll do for now. So let's do a bit of the brown Suri next, and this time I'm actually going to take it all the way over because there's enough contrast. It's the white and that very soft fawn will be enough of a contrast. You always want to keep in mind that you don't want to create mud, so there must be a little bit of a contrast. In this case I'm going to do just tiny little bits at a time, and you can actually see we've just done the silk and this is now Suri. The texture is very much the same. In fact, it could easily go through for brown silk. So nice little layer of that all the way through. I've got more, luckily. Might just as well. No, we'll leave a little bit more for the end as well, for a final layer. Let's just do that a little bit there. I don't want to put too much Suri in here. I don't want it to drift apart, and I want it to have a little bit of crimp as well, where Suri on its own is lovely if you want to make a shawl or something, but in this case we want to make a lofty fibre, so that we're going to leave for later. Let's see, I'm going to add some white now. Okay, I think I'm going to make a nice little wad in the center again, yeah? And on the other end over there too. It'd be interesting to know what this is going to look like. Starting to get quite full, but I've still got quite a bit to go. Not sure if I will put the whole 100 grams on here. I haven't actually folded up to the top yet, so I have no idea how much we will be able to add. So let's do some brown next, the lighter brown, or in this case it's actually called a fawn because it's got a reddish tinge in it. And again, what I'm going to do is just to do the sort of a sped up way of doing it, doing a nice little handful, another handful. So that's just basically one of those little fluffies all together, and let's slash on again. This time I'll do some in the middle and in the end, and just repeat that until I've got all of this fluffy used up. Stretching a bit to get to that end. I'm sitting at an angle, yeah? Okay, so that's what we've got there for now. I think I'm going to add a bit more. What have I got next? Let's do some black again. Black Suri. And I'll do a thin layer, I think, right through. Let's start from that end. Just want to make sure there's enough of a break between the white and the black here. Might just as well come back with this as well. There's a tiny little bit left still. Right, so let's be adventurous. I'm going to add a little bit of silk as well. And no idea what's going to come out of this. Your guess is as good as mine. I rather like the idea of the Suri and silk going back and back. A bit of an ebony and ivory effect. Needs some opera music. Just good Yeah, no, will do. Okay, that was enough of the silk. And maybe drizzling more of this stuff. It's really just going to make the slightest little bit of a glitter here and there. I really don't like Christmas tree effects, but I do like the odd shiny twinkle peeping out. So we'll see what this will do. Now I have, let's see, it's got a good selection of colors over there. I do need a bit more on there to just settle down all those other colors. It's black silk, some brown still. Let's use this brown again. And in this case, I'm going to go with the 3 spots again. We'll go a little bit slower now, not lashing on a whole bunch at once. It's a bit of a nuisance all the way at the back there, because I've got myself sort of cornered out here, the angle that I'm sitting. Okay. Maybe add a little bit more brown. And I'm going to end it off with white. Reason being, once I pull it off, that will sort of give a nice clean edge. And once we finish spinning, it's going to be plied with this fibre. So I'm not going to end with that one. I want to keep that in the middle. And I think I'm probably going to come back and do another hackle for, but I don't think that's going to be on camera. That's just if I need to make more to get enough yarn. This time I'm going to go right over to the other end. And then I'm going to show you how we're going to make sure that nothing pops off the tines while I'm busy dizzing it off. You'll see why a hackle is such an absolute ingenious item. Now we are going to capture all of our lovely fibers in there, nice and tight. They're not going anywhere. All right. Now where's my diz? Okay, here we go. I am not sitting in front of this thing because I have to leave space for the camera, so this is a little bit awkward. I start off by making a little bit of a longer bit, and it obviously the Suri, the silk being the longest here, that's sort of what sticks out. I'm going to try and bypass most of that silk because I don't really want to start with silk as such. So let's see. Okay, here's our starting point. Okay, so you just slide that slightly to the back and just pull a little bit, and you actually guide your fingers in the direction that you want to go. I'm just seeing that I've actually got my little dizzer the wrong way around, but it doesn't actually matter. People say it's supposed to have the concave end to the back, but this works perfect. Right, now I'm going to try and finish off on one end. I can go backwards and forwards, but I want to get out of this corner my back is killing me because I'm leaning over here at a very unnatural angle to try and get all of this off. So this is more by necessity than design, but I'm going to finish off this end first. And who knows, this is actually not looking bad at all. I rather like it. Now it's important to lift up little bits like that, otherwise you're gonna end up with different colors all the time. Look, you're gonna get different colors anyway, but we want to make sure we get all those colors together. And all these fibers are going to get their little friends to come along for the ride, as long as you make sure you guide them in there. So far, so good. And if I should risk looking at it so long. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. I think it's beautiful. Oh yes. Okay. Well, just going to, well, let me allow it to drop down there. I locked the cats outside. I really do not want another disaster. And little Nadia has gone watching TV a little bit, because right now I do not think I need an assistant. Okay, I'm going to end up with shorter fibers here now, which makes me think I should come back to that a little bit later. I've got all the nice long ones out already. Oh no, I'm ending with one color there, which is not a good idea. So let me see if I can go and harvest something else there. I don't think I have too much of just one color. And this is just a work in progress, eh? Do not think I have a full recipe here. Okay, I'm gonna go a little bit to the side to make sure I get some of the other colors as well, and then I'll move back again just now. So I'll be grazing like a cow, collecting what I need where I need it. So this really is just going as I go, no rhyme or reason. So remember, when you do your own stuff like this, there's no police who's going to tell you how to do it. You do what you feel like doing. And you're the boss. Oh, lovely. Look at that. Love it. I might be grazing back to some of the other colors down there as well. So let's see what happens. Just lift it a bit. My hands are not too much in the way. Look at that. Don't push the disc to the back too far. Just make sure that you've got some movement in there, otherwise it can get stuck. And if it feels like it doesn't really want to smooth out, just give it a tiny little bit of a wiggle. Never too much of a pull, because then it will break. Not the end of the world, but I mean, why would we break it if we want to actually get a nice long thing? So if it breaks, not the end of the world, but try and keep it together as long as possible. Let's see. There's a nice long piece that says he wants to go with his buddies. Okay, you go. I'm not going to stop you. Let's see if I can move back a little bit. Still want to try and get that end a little bit emptier. There's some nice interesting colors that are still in there, so we'll just graze around. And the universe will decide what our design will look like. Now, I prepared 100 grams of fibre. I don't think I've used the whole half of it. Might be a little bit more. Anyway, I will weigh it when I'm finished, and so I think I'll be able to do one more roll of top like this. So it might actually be enough fibre or enough yarn for an interesting project. I have no idea what I'll do with it. I'll decide on that later, but it will probably be something for weaving. If I get the picture I've got in the back of my mind, it might go towards my nice cushion I've got in mind. But there's no rush to decide on that, so looks like I'm going to start getting this empty. I hope this is not boring, because it's becoming quite a long cut here. I might have to speed it up later. I think I might do that, yeah. I rather like those ideas of just speeding up the videos. Wouldn't it be nice if we could do that in real life? Especially if it's a boring job. Now, this is not boring, not at all. It's just that I'm sitting at a very funny angle here. My back doesn't like that corner. It says get back to normal. But for now, it's at least getting all those colors out of there. I'm just going to manipulate the fibers apart a bit so I can pull them out easier. Now, yeah, I'm a fiber ninja as well. I do not like leaving too much on the combs and not on the hackle either. But I'm going to have to come this way now, because I think I've used about as much as I can from that end. Now, let's just give this Oki a little bit more, because he's sort of getting lonely there and very thin. So we'll go and feed him a bit more. I can get nice and fat again. There you go. Alright, and I can actually change my posture a little bit as well, so it's not so extremely painful to sit and reach into the corner anymore. This really is nice. I am quite chuffed with what I'm getting out of here, even if I have to say so myself. Maybe it's time to stop and show a bit again. You see that? All natural alpaca colors, besides the tiny little bit of silk and the odd glitter that you can see there.